think about the blurring of lines between politician and celebrity in recent times, i.e. Obama, Palin, and you on The Apprentice? Maybe only time those three names have been the same thing.
You should know, by the way, I met Sarah Palin. Can I give a quick anecdote all the time? I met Sarah Palin at the governor's conference at Independence Hall, just days before everything changed for me. And I hope you guys can probably understand after, I kind of wanted to meet her. Nothing unethical about that. I don't agree with her politics, but I kind of wanted to meet her. Anyway, and I met her, and I told her that I had spent a couple of years, 2 summers, working on the Alaskan pipeline. I had summer jobs up there to help pay for Northwestern and law school. And I worked 2 summers on the Alaskan pipeline. And we talked about where it was. And then I mentioned that I had a law school roommate who was from Alaska. And she asked me where, and I said he was from Palmer. And I asked her how close that was to her hometown. And she said, oh, it's right next door. She said, well, what's his name? And I said, okay, Thomas Copeland. And then she matter-of-factly says, well, he's my Attorney General. I appointed him Attorney General of the state of Alaska. Now, how funny is that? Okay, so your question is, yes, this is, look, I mean, Schwarzenegger in California, who, by the way, great guy, fascinating guy. When I was governor, he was my second favorite governor. I just was enamored with the weightlifting and all of that. But Obama, I think a lot of Obama's success politically was that he became sort of a celebrity kind of figure and was a little bit different from other politicians. So we are a society that values celebrity. And I think it's part of what the challenges are with today's modern media. It's a very kind of 30-second soundbite world we live in. Television, if you're on TV somehow, that somehow makes you somebody, and sometimes you deserve it, sometimes maybe not. But there is some truth to that. Ronald Reagan was the first one to kind of cut through all that celebrity. And in previous eras of history, it wasn't the movie stars or the TV stars or the celebrities, it was the generals who were able to transcend the ordinary kind of rank-and-file politicians. And today now we're more celebrity-driven, and I think there is an obvious truth.
What was Governor Pat Quinn's involvement in the steps of your impeachment and so forth? And how do you feel now that he's the first governor?
I'm very disappointed. Pat Quinn promised with me, and he was my running mate. And he gets elected if he simply stays home, because the governor does all the campaigning. He was free to campaign, but he basically stayed home, and I did all the campaigning. And then he became the lieutenant governor. Both of us promised not to raise taxes on the people. I predicted among the reasons why I was being railroaded out of office was that he was going to do what Madigan Daley and the Democratic establishment and the special interests, and a lot of the Republicans want, but they don't want to go for what they want to happen, is get more of the people's money for their budget. So he broke that promise within 6 weeks. And now he's essentially become the lackey for those established interests in Springfield, Madigan and Colors. And he wants a 50% increase on people in Illinois during hard economic times. He wants them to pay more. But when I tried to close corporate loopholes and tried to put a small tax on multinational big corporations like the Bank of America and these corporations that on average pay $151 in corporate taxes in Illinois when working people pay $1,500. Pat Quinn opposed the taxes on the corporations, but he wants a 50% increase in taxes on the people. So very disappointing. He was not interested in working on solutions when I was governor to help us get those things done. And here's an interesting ethical question for you, Professor. Pat Quinn, to this day, has a fundraising account called Pat Quinn for the United States Senate. Did you catch this? He's had this since 1996. He raises money in his campaign fund, Pat Quinn for U.S. Senate. But he's not running for the U.S. Senate. He was the lieutenant governor, now he's the governor running for re-election as governor. Now, to the credit of, I think your newspaper wrote this, they pointed out that he held a fundraiser for the United States Senate for himself in April of last year while he was the governor. Now, why is he raising money for a Senate campaign? Because he's got a scheme with that fund, where he lends money to his campaign. He can't use campaign funds for personal use. That's prohibited, okay? So he found a way around it. So he then loans money to that campaign, Paquin for U.S. Senate, and he pays himself back every so often, but he doesn't just take it for face value. He charges his campaign fund 10% interest. Now, your money in the bank today, or your parents' money in the bank today, or my money in the bank today, what little I have, is getting about 1.5% interest. But Quinn is paying himself 10% from his campaign fund. Now, how he gets away with that is beyond me. But that's a fact, and if you're asking me, do I think he's a good governor? No. He's been emasculated by Madigan and Cullerton. He does their bidding. He wants more.
Well, we can't accuse you of not answering. From Sean Murphy, is it appropriate for a sitting governor to attempt to leverage the media by asking for firings in exchange for favors? Does your behavior toward the Tribune Company constitute this?
That's a false accusation, and when the full truth comes out, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked to see how upside down the accusation is. Shocked.
It's one thing to commit these crimes and express remorse if in fact you are. But why would you participate in the publicity circus, friends, reality TV shows, etc., gathering more attention, not necessarily good? If you have any respect for the state of Illinois, why would you deliberately try to attract more attention in the wake of these allegations?
Okay. If I did things wrong, if I broke the law, I would be doing none of that. But I'm an innocent man, and I've been falsely accused, and therefore, I have to, as I explained, do the best I can to try to work through this and earn as much of a living as we can as we deal with this extremely hard situation. Again, that question, the premise of it is that he's already made up his mind. He's heard no evidence and doesn't even know what the real facts are. The reality is that I did not do these things, and I'm acting and doing the best I can to make a living, to help my family as we work our way through something like this. And you know what would be a laughingstock for Illinois? If I simply allowed them to lie about the governor the people elected. Now let me tell you something that's extremely important. That's why I can't wait to finally get moving so we get the truth out. I never lost an election. Not for Congress, not for governor twice, not for state representative. Never lost an election. And among the reasons why is because the people placed their trust in me, and I trusted them. And it kills me to think that a lot of people out there, or some people out there, might think I may have let them down and I violated their trust. I didn't. And I go out there publicly as often as I can, because when you've been wrongfully accused and you want people to know it ain't so, because it means something to you, you do the best you can. You find as many places you can. You look for the highest mountain you can find so you can shout out, it ain't so, I didn't do it. And by the way, play all the tapes.